One of the things I see a lot of guys get frustrated with is expecting people to operate on their value system. You know, a peaceful life is all about letting these wild horses run free. You don't see me on here lecturing no women or whatever else, or telling women what they're supposed to be. I put my content out there and I took my ass somewhere, go walk in the park, hit the gym, and go do something productive with my life. Maybe go do a trade or something. Because the only thing you can control is you. And nothing is changing out here in most of you dudes' lifestyle, especially you dudes that are older like me. I'm 51 years old. Only thing that changes in your life. So might as well go ahead and enjoy your life. Do the best you can do. Square yourself away according to the things that you value. Be proactive. And like I said, let these wild horses run free. You're not changing anything. You sit around all day long, stressed and wish and have hopeful thinking, especially some of you dudes that are younger. Shoot, for the young dudes, you should be stacking money like crazy so you can retire early, so that you can live life on your own terms, so that you can operate free, so that you have the power to say no. You notice I said everything about you, not about women. You go to the gym because you want to have good health. Work out. Take care of your health. Not for no women. Take care of your health. Now, if that's a side effect, great. If you're old, I don't sit around in my daily life, concerning myself about what women are going to be or how bad women are going to get, how bad women have gotten. Damn that. I consume my pre-owned and I keep it moving. I don't care. I just don't invest any time. I'm just not going to put them in a position to destroy my reality. They're not going to live with me. I'm not going to marry them. And I think the brother, Mr. Palmer, said it the best. Change the laws in your own mind, in your own life. Well, okay, fine. They're not going to change the marriage laws. Because why? There's too much money in it. The lawyers, the courts, the judges, the system, child support. There's billions of dollars that are invested in that. Women don't want to give away that power. That's money. The ability to fleece some dude, some guy who she wouldn't have dated at 21. Now she's 30 plus. She already picked the guy she loved in life. Now she wants to get that retirement plan. And that retirement plan puts money in her hands, which is 80% of the shop. They're not going to change the system for your ass. And the reality is that nobody cares about what happened to you in the past. Whether you got a raw deal in divorce, whether you got raked over the coals in relationship, whether you came home and your wife cheated, maybe you were the cheater. Who knows? But the reality of life is nobody gives a rat's ass about you as a dude. So why would you sit around your day worried about what's going to be happening in this society in terms of whether people are going to be fair and honest and have integrity, or you're going to have to make those things happen around you in terms of being proactive in your self-protection game and your strategy and how you move in this world that benefits you. And that's what a lot of guys got to understand. I mean, we've had manosphere content, red pill content. We have all these content out here. And the only thing that's really changed is men, to be honest with you. I see the women, I talk to women all day long. Kevin Samuels used to come on here, over 1.5 million subscribers. And the only thing that he really helped is the men. Level the men up, boss the men up. Guys all the time. CGA, salute to my brother CGA and the rest of them. They put out content every day telling guys to boss up. But boss up for you. Boss up for you. Not, when you start talking about the access to pre-owned box, I was like, okay, look it. Oh, all right, look. That's whatever. But in terms of you having the ability and the freedoms in life that comes with having the resources you do want, hey, look, it is what it is. But Kevin Samuels had a podcast, almost 1.5 million subscribers, lecturing to these women. What was the end result? And the result is they celebrate that man's death, called him a misogynist. He was like the last hope to try and save those women in the black community, but they roll that dude up underneath the bus. Now the economy and inflation is all up here, and they're losing jobs. Now they're crying. They're talking about, what happened to love and relationships and even now with marriages and relationships. I mean, the great divorce is horrible. We're looking like, that's the real crux of it. 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, 30, 40 years. Man, These women are like checking out of these marriages like, hell no, I ain't being with your ass no more. I see my freedom as an opportunity to get me a pander, or they listen to social media, or their favorite content creator is putting things in there. So guys after 15, 20 years ain't even safe. So you might as well just go ahead and live your life, take care of yourself, because tomorrow is never promised, and that's how you got to operate in the current world that we living in, because nobody cares if you have a problem with the way things are going. They really don't. Especially if you're a dude, you're going to have to adapt, adjust, or just leave that shit alone. Adapt, and I'm not talking about, curtail or whatever else. That means create a program that benefits you. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, this is what the system in society is pushing. This is what they're pushing at you. So what are you going to do? It's like in anything else, a game of chess, a game of sports. If they are running a certain play, then you run your play. And to counter that, and some dudes are not countering that. If they're smart ones, are like, shit, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna watch this from the sidelines. That doesn't mean check out in terms of not doing the things that you're doing for you. So I can check out of doing things for them and up my game 1,000% in terms of doing things for me. Checking out don't mean just because I don't like the way they operate on it, that doesn't mean I'm gonna be sitting in some basement or alone or whatever else. I don't do that shit. I don't do any of that shit. I don't do no monk modes. I don't do any of that shit. I pound them out every month. I don't live in no box. No, hell no. For what? Life is too short. Life is too short. Who lives like that? I'm not living like that. For what? I'm not gonna do it. They're just not gonna do it. Don't have to do it. Why? There's no point in doing that. And that's what a lot of guys, you're not changing anything out here. I always tell, you got to surf the waters of delusion out here and win. In terms of, what the deal is. You can size things up from a distance. You've studied human behavior, psychology. You've studied the game of life. You can size things up and you can have a conversation and get the outcome that you want in life. And you definitely out here, you have to have resources. Resources gives you options. I mean, at the end of the day, the conversation today is all about money, resources, and advantages. So it is what it is, I mean, a guy like me, you're probably going to get, IV drips with some money out of me, but I'm still going to get the outcome that I want. It's just a matter of how you design your life and how you view the world. The biggest problem I see for men today is living in the past. And it's a system of programming that has set men's mind into this Hollywood fantasy of what they want women to be and what they want relationships to be and what they want life to be, as opposed to looking at things for what they are, getting that fantasy out of your mind. What you see is what you get. You see a 304? That's a 304. Don't make her anything else. Leave her alone or pounding past. Don't hog the ball. Move on. Don't try and create something out of something that ain't there. People are who they are. You see a woman or somebody, whatever, in certain situations, they're down and out and they're broke or they're jacked up. I'm not saying all. This is not an absolute. They're that way for a reason. There's a reason why they're that way. I'm not talking about nobody in some third world or something like that where you just born into a caste and you can't get your way out. I'm talking about right here in the good old America or Western culture or even some cultures. It's not your job to be rescuing and saving people. Who gonna save your ass when you don't got nothing? You don't got no money. You don't got no resources. Who's gonna look out for you? That's what you gotta ask yourself the question. If the situation was reversed, would they be doing that shit for you? And you think logically. Okay, what is it that you need this person to do? Let them do it and get the hell up out of there. Don't overthink the game of life. What you see is what you get. And you can't change nobody. They are who they are. You can't, grown ass folks are who they are. And that's who they're going to be. And if the worst thing a man can do out here today is lecturing women when they're speaking freely or trying to correct them. You just cheated yourself out the game. They're telling you the whole history of what they do or what they're into and what they're about. If you shame the truth, you're gonna get your ass lied to and get a bunch of bullshit, and then they're gonna go do that shit anyhow, behind your back, and just gaslight the shit out of you, especially to keep that bread coming. And so there's not really anything, there's really no incentive to change much things around you. But I'm glad some guys are adjusting now. They're figuring out the game, whether it be, overseas or whether it be here in America. And, and they're making the adjustments in terms of their mindset. I'm telling you, for the young men, it's probably a different game that they have to play. But inevitably, you have to be self-preservative now as a man because of the way the world is designed, the way the culture is going right now. But again, we're into, and salute to CGA for calling it out. We're into a monetized phase of people, especially with dating and relationships, where, women, many of them just focus on their career and their life when they're younger years, or they sell pre-owned to old dudes and dudes with money. And then when they get around 30, hopefully they didn't got a bunch of kids or whatever else. Some of them have had some baby deletions. They find a good old jellyback simp as a retirement plan. And that guy becomes the guy they marry, and, hopefully they can chill out. But now that we see what's happening with the great divorce, shit, even that's not working out for guys. But deal with the reality of it. And it's not about, you can't have, if you have a problem with women, nobody cares. Nobody gives a rat's ass about that. The question is, when I see a woman, if I'm interested in a woman, what is it that I need this woman to do? And why even we bother with her after she does it? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Instead of wasting your time judging or having an opinion about the way she moves and where her life is, like, for instance, body count and things like that matters for marriage and long-term relationship. That's what it matters for, because you want to be able to trust whether your kids are going to be yours or not. And anybody with a history of turning over multiple men in relationships, there ain't no qualms about turning over you. So for that purpose, whatever. But as far as, out here and you don't care whether that woman goes or comes, man, who gives a rat's ass? The culture is sexually liberated anyhow. In fact, the old feminists have told the women to go out there and explore their options while they're working their career when they're young. So they're going to come to the table with a lot of bodies. They can go to the church and try and put a new coat of paint on that. But at the end of the day, that's still some heavily, vigorously, and viciously pounded out old used pre-owned. In other cultures in the world, especially in Asian cultures, they call certain things what it is. They'll call a woman leftover, women off. You look at the marriage market in Qingdao province in China. They'll ask a woman, have you lived with a man? How many men have you been with? They'll ask them all kinds of questions. The old women will do that to the women. And when they're over 25, they've had relationships and whatever else, they're not paying no bride price or any of that other nonsense. They'll be like, nah, hell no, you're Shinyu. Leftover women. And shit in what is it, Japan or Korea, South Korea, they call them birthday cake. It's just us as men, there's men in this country that have just because of feminism and whatever else. And that's why I get these guys, they just overvalue pre-owned. And I see like dudes literally are signing away their lives, their resources, their money to have access. And even dudes that are in it right now, they know they effed up. They won't even tell these young bucks the truth. Like, man, this shit is whack. And it becomes a humiliation ritual for them, because 9 times out of 10, they got with a chick that followed the feminist plan when she was young, focused on the career, had multiple boyfriends, multiple dudes, and multiple experiences. And the only reason why she's marrying that dude is for the money and the resources. And now she's got this dude on a slow drip IV of sex, and he's on that treadmill of happiness, and he's performing. He's not even himself anymore. He don't know what he look at himself in the mirror. He don't even know who he is anymore. His whole life is about, let's just get out here and work and serve and whatever. Or he's a hostage to the state. Because, again, men don't want other men taking care of their kids, around their kids. I don't know whether you got guys, a child molester or a child abuser around your kid. So he's going to stay there and suck it up because he's looking at his 401k. He's looking at his 457. He's looking at his 403, whatever he's got going on. He's looking at, he don't want to give her half of that. He don't want to split his account in half. He don't want to lose access to protect his children. He's in a bind because he's with this person that don't respect him, or if he's don't treat him well, it becomes a humiliation ritual, or sex is delivered to him in a disrespectful way, and he's a shadow of him from himself. His whole body is just deteriorating from working all the hours. His mind is being tortured. And that's the thing that they don't really tell some of the guys about, in those situations. Because he's gotten with a woman that probably wouldn't touch him when she was 21. And he's paying the price for it. And you can always tell, too. I know, for the young guys, let me tell you something. It's very easy to tell if a woman is into you. What does she do when you're not spending money, when you're not entertaining her or whatever else? Just being with you for a woman that is into you is a joy. Period. You don't have to spend any money. Just being with you is a joy for a woman that's into you. If every time she's with you, she's logged into her phone all day long, or she wants you to be doing stuff for her, or whatever else, you are on a treadmill of happiness. She does not like you like that. Period. For you young bucks. It's really that simple. It's not that complicated. And even to the extent of attraction, like a lot of game guys talk to young guys. Let me explain something to you real quick, okay? You don't have to sell what's already been sold. A woman that's really into you, what are you gaming her for? You've already been sold. Now, even that is hard, even too simple on a woman that's really into you. A good one. Because here's why. She's going to be upset. Why are you wasting all this money? Why are you doing that? Because to her, she knows that your simpery is a liability to the future success of the plans that she has in her mind for you, which is for you to be in a long-term relationship with her. And your simping is a sign of masculine weakness. And she's angry with you because she's saying that if you're a simp and you're putting out your resources like that, you're easily to be exploited and taken advantage of. And she does not want to spend her life with a man that's easy to be taken advantage of. So a woman that really likes you is going to frown upon you if you are the type of guy who tries to overdo it or tries to pedestalize it and whatever else her, because she actually wants to be with you. The only women that really suck that shit up is the women that are like, the women that don't like you. But if a woman that's well raised and like you, she's gonna frown upon that shit. Your simping is a liability to her. That's why you look weak. So in essence, that really answers the questions about what they're teaching you in terms of, the game stuff is really for damaged women who don't really like you, where you manipulate their mind, and it really is just about the game of indifference. You can just watch Patrice O'Neal, and he'll really explain and break it down about the game of indifference with those women, because they really have low self-esteem. So manipulating women with low self-esteem is really what game is about. But do you really want to get into that? Because that's going to follow you home, and that cylinder block is going to be thrown through the windshield of your car for lying to these women out here, because a lot of them now have personality disorders and narcissism and all kinds of problems mentally, and they're going to come back, because especially when they're high on that social media addiction and drugs, where they become complete narcissists, and they already have a mental problem, and then an issue in a society with no accountability, and you're the only dude. They got surrounded by all these simps and all that stuff, and now she's obsessed with you because you're the only dude that's acting like a man and challenging her. And you asking for a crash out nowadays for lying to these women. It's not the same as, you see, the problem with these dudes is they're giving dating relationship advice based on 1992 and 1986. They're not considering the mental health problems that you exist today that are challenging. Some men have mental health problems in terms of their self-esteem, but some of the women are completely gone. And you're dealing, you see, that's what they don't They don't really deal with the core of the issues. For teaching game to a guy that has low self-esteem or hates himself. What do you ask me about women? I'm going to talk about how do you feel about yourself. When you're alone by yourself and you look at yourself in the mirror, what is going on in your head? If we cure that, then we can cure your problem with women. Easy. It starts with the person in the mirror. You know, if you hate yourself, you hate your own company, you're going to have a lot of problems with women. Period. No game coach. And that's why when guys ask me about, I send them straight to the kosher clinician. Salute to him. I'll send them straight to a masculine male therapist. That's why. I don't send them to no game coach or any of that stuff. Nah. For what? Because if you fix the self-esteem, then women no longer become your issue. Half of the times you're just going to avoid them. Maybe you consume some pre-hone and keep it moving, or you only deal with the 5% women that are unicorns in this universe anyhow, especially now with all these women acting like prostitute and this dating game that has turned into prostitution. What are you going to do? You know, if a guy's self-esteem is not fixed, he's going to get crushed out here. Crushed. Especially guys traveling overseas. If your self-esteem is not right and your mental health is not right, you're going to get ate up. Because these women have become experts at playing the long game, suckering dudes that are out here looking for women as purpose, which is the absolute ridiculous crap. These dudes that are overconsumed with women and can't see their life or their masculinity and manhood is just measured by having a woman. These women are just sitting in the cut, waiting, playing that long game and eating them alive. Period. Because especially nowadays, it's completely predatory. I mean, you go into church now, they've rebranded that stuff and they're charging marriage MSRP for some new leftover women. And some goofy dude gonna go up in there, you know, with his Bible and thought that he found something. He doesn't understand that he just found himself a 304 that quotes scriptures. Selling a lie, pretending to, you don't know what she had, how many trains got ran on her in the past. That shit is in her. That's nature. That's nature. You know, the religion is only a scam to get her what she wants. And guys fall for that all the time. You know, they don't do their research. They're led by their hormones. It's the hormones that make a lot of men get into some bad deals and bad situations. They get into a lot of bad deals and give up their whole entire life. But anyhow, that's enough talk for this morning. That's my coffee talk for the morning. I gotta go hit the gym or do something. Peace and blessings to you, gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm out.